Hi guys, welcome to the Quad.Vertex channel. I'm personally not a big fan of the Fallout games, but I'm excited about the series that came out recently. So today I decided to make a game model of the vault doors from the first episode. Let's begin. First off, I load an image as a reference. This is a screenshot from the series and the angle is almost perfect. Then I add a circle. And here is important the amount of vertices. As you can see on the picture in the right corner of the screen, we have some kind of gear door. And this gear has 9 spikes, let's say, and 9 edges in between. So we will need same amount of vertices and edges to work with. The next thing is edge loops. So, and again, look at the picture in the corner. This is the way how I divided this circle by fragments, right? And this is how many edges I use. And then it's just a matter of moving faces forward and backward to get the overall shape of the future door. On the middle part, I have a couple more extra loops because I want to get some details straight away. Next, it's time to work with the outer fragment of the door, this yellow part. I select the whole loop and then with help of checker deselect, I keep only half edges selected. With an individual origins, I can scale only those what I really need to be scaled. Next thing, let's separate our objects and make the door and door frame are two different objects. When you have circular models, you don't need to work with a whole circle. You can pick just a part of it and then later with the help of array modifier, you can spin it around, right? So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, we keep only one part of our frame, then we add a circle and use array modifier on our part. Change the relative offset to the object offset and with the eyedropper pick the circle. After that, all you need to do is to choose amount of pieces and spin the circle. That's it. Look how easy it is. Of course, it's better to keep as low polygon as possible because this is the game asset, right? But the door is pretty big size, so that middle part looks very angular to me. That is why I subdivide these circles and with the help of loop tool add-on, I made it perfect circle back again. Okay, now we can add a bit of small details. So, thanks to the new vertices that we have on the middle circle, the circle inside, we have more geometry to work with. I just join it with the other faces and now we can extrude this part. First we can bevel it and then extrude to make that gap on the door. And again, we need to do it only on the one piece of the door, because for the rest we can use same array modifier with an object offset and spin it as well as we did for the door frame fragment. Here you can see me playing with the joints And because I took the face as a base for this joint from the middle part of the door, it is still same object, means array modifier works on it as well. After I separate the joints as a different object, I add solidify modifier to give some thickness and lay with bevels to make corners a bit smoother. And I can say straight away that I will come back to these corners and smooth them even more later. In the next part, I'm gonna add some bolts and small details on the door. As you understand, there is no any sense to make it high detailed, because nobody gonna pay attention in the game or even on the render. Plus, I don't need to make 10 or 20 of them. I can make just a couple and then later duplicate all around the model, the door and the door frame. In this way we will save some UV space, and anyway, even with texture on this detail, nobody will notice that it is the same piece. Usually, when I model something, I prefer to switch my viewport shading from solid to material, and without any materials applied, check how does it look, the model or part of it, with different HDRIs. Nowadays it's not difficult to find free HDRIs, right? So it's a good thing to have a couple of them. It can give you the idea how your model will look in the future in a game engine with a different environment. Next, it is time to cover these sharp corners around the model and add nice and smooth cylinder. The door frame is pretty big, so 32 vertices should work well. Of course, some hidden faces should be deleted. This is a golden rule. If you can't see this face, don't waste UV space. And for now, a bit more details on the door. If you don't know and didn't notice it on the picture, every wall has a number. That is why there is a number on each wall door. My door will have the number 32, same as on the reference. The only thing, I don't want to spend much time modeling these numbers or looking for the similar font. So I just pick a random font which seems to has kinda same style. To be honest, I don't really understand what is this detail for and how does it work, but need to model it anyway. I think the best way to model is to use subdivision surface, because edges of this detail is pretty smooth, and subdiv with one level will help me here. I believe the model is pretty low poly so I can afford to have a bevel on the edge. For this case I choose to use weight instead of angle, so I can control exact edges. It looks like the door and the door frame are almost done. It is time to add a couple of planes and work on the floor and the wall. To cut a nice hole in the wall, I use my door frame and Boolean modifier. Before applying the modifier, I add a couple more edges, so I have less work with cleaning and organizing the topology. For that part on the left, which is supposed to pull the door, I decided not to spend much time and don't put a lot of details on it. I believe the intention will be on the door and nobody gonna care about this thing. finally, the modeling part is over. The next step is vertex paint. It is easy to do and helps a lot. During texturing, it will help to make ID map, which makes texturing much easier. All I need to do here is in edit mode, select faces, which I want to share similar texture, then switch to the vertex mode, vertex paint, select any color you want, and face selection masking. After, press Shift K. I don't want to lose colors that I'm using to paint the vertices. That's why I add a color palette with all these colors saved. Next time when I need exact color, I can easily switch between them. It is not easy to show the process of 3D modeling in a short video. But anyway, I don't want to make this one too long. That is why I'm not gonna show you my process of texturing, but I'll show you the process of making UV maps and texture sets. This is the hard surface model, right? Means almost all the edges are sharp, so it's not a big deal to find out where to put UV cuts to get a decent result on the UV map. For those objects, what I duplicated with Array modifier, I don't keep all copies, just a couple of them for the variety of textures. It will save a lot of UV space and won't be difficult to bring it back after texturing is done. To save some time and don't select each sharp edge one by one, there is a very simple way to do it. In Edit mode, deselect all the edges, then go to select Sharp Edges and adjust the angle. Placing UV cuts on the sharp edges will give a nice texture blending. When all the parts are properly unwrapped, the work on UV is not done yet. It is always a good thing to optimize the UV map to save as much space as possible. One of the obvious and easiest way to do it is to straighten circles, semicircles, and other banded faces. For this purpose, I use a wonderful add-on UV Squares. It works almost in all cases, so I rarely need to straighten some edges manually. As you can see, I move from one piece to another, optimizing it if it's possible, and throw them outside of UV field. Doing so, I don't miss even small pieces. Another important thing is to pack everything. Here I'm using another add-on, UV Packmaster, but the same function existing in Blender. You simply select everything, go to UV, Pack Islands, This add-on just does it a bit better. The size of this asset is quite big, and one texture set is not enough to get a nice looking resolution of the textures. That's why I make a couple of them. One texture set is for the main door with all the details, other is for door frame, and the other for the wall and the floor. The last thing to do is to pack all texture sets again. If you're wondering what's going on the screen, I decided to bake a normal texture for the wall pattern. It's quite a common thing and won't take long. Simply create a plane, resize it if you need, then place it about the surface that you want to bake from. After, give a material to this new plane, make an empty image and select Image Texture node. Then select your surface. After, select that plane, go to the Cycles engine, choose Properties, what exactly you want to bake, mark Selected to Active and press Bake button. Alright, everything is done and I will show you the final result in a second. For now, I just want to say thank you for watching, and if you want to support my channel, press the like button and subscribe for more content about game assets.